This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is the September the 16th version of the AnCan Foundation's Veteran Support Group. I'm Jim Marshall. I am the moderator for this crew here. And let me thank our or the sponsor, which is Johnson & Johnson. And the way I understand, we may be getting more sponsors out of this, and it will be additionally Novartis, Bayer, Myriad Genetics, Telix, and Blue Earth Diagnostics. And I thank them for supporting us. Um, okay. This is a group that will talk about the VA. We also talk about military retirement because the background I've got is that I am a retired Air Force, 23 years, Vietnam vet. I'm also a retired federal civil servant. That was a culture shock going to work in the Treasury Department and OPM with a bunch of civilians, but it was fun. And then also I've got 100% disabilities out of the VA, but I'm still here. So I got interested in the VA and how they do things. So I'm trying to spread around the information. Okay. Uh, Eric is a new guy and bumped into him last night I know everybody who views this might think that we only talk about prostate cancer, but that's not true. We talk about everything, but the deal is about 50% of the vets I meet have prostate cancer. It's amazing because of all of the Agent Orange, okay, and the Gulf Wars. So, Eric, I got a few questions for you. Um, in what branch did you serve?
The Army.
The Army. Okay. And are you Army retired or you just did a stint and left?
Army veteran, 6.5 years.
6.5 years. Okay. Do you know if you're covered under the PACT Act?
I don't.
Did you ever serve over in Southwest Asia in all of those garden
Korea.
spots? What?
Korea for a little
You
bit.
you did Korea, but most of the places were stateside, I take it, right?
Right. Korea,
And
Germany were the only two overseas.
well, okay, but I'm more interested in where you served here in the United States because most of the military installations have been turned into EPA toxic waste sites, which can cause all kinds of interesting uh, disabilities. So, where did you do your basic training?
Fort Jackson.
Fort Jackson. Oh, just looked at that puppy. Yep. EP. Okay, out of there, where did you go?
Fort Jackson again for AIT.
Right.
And then Fort Lee, Virginia for a little bit.
Oh, you were transportation type?
I did. Yep. I did
Okay,
transportation.
great. And then from there,
And then I think it was overseas for the Germany.
okay, Germany.
And then came back, did White Sands, New Mexico for a little while.
Ooh, haven't looked at that for toxic waste, but I will. And then,
And then Korea, and then Fort Knox.
oh, Fort Knox.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Gold fingers.
Right. Well, no, not that. That is okay. That's a good one, as Henry Holloway is, and another guy knows. Okay. What was your specialty in the Army?
Originally was 63 Bravo,
Which is, because I don't speak
light
Army.
wheel vehicle mechanic.
Oh, a mechanic.
Correct.
Okay. Uh, a truck mechanic. Let's just call it truck.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And then after that, what?
Then I requalified under 92 Alpha for a different unit, which
And that is,
is a automated warehouse and logistics specialist. Essentially, I was supply guy, supply
yeah,
sergeant.
yeah. I was about to say supply. Okay, okay. Uh, I think we got an echo. Okay, out of Henry's.
Okay.
Ah, he did a mute. Okay, so in the scheme of things, I know last night we saw you on there, prostate cancer, right?
Correct.
Yes. And uh, when were you first diagnosed? Just out of
It
curiosity.
was April 2023.
Oh, okay.
April,
So,
May, sometime around there.
okay, in general, April of 20. Okay, and I take it that you've had treatment once or
Yeah,
not?
twice. So I had my prostatectomy in August of 23, and
Okay,
then I had BCR. I had recurrence in, and then I had that in December 2024. Started radiation then.
okay. So you're, and at this point in time, what's your status?
I'm right now. I'm zero PSA, under monitoring. I go back in November, and they're waiting for the Lupron shot to probably wear off,
Oh,
and
okay.
then
So, uh,
test to see if that radiation worked.
okay. So in general, let me, and have you ever done the intent to file to put in a
I
claim?
just actually went through the intent to file not too long ago. So outside of everything else, but when I got out of the service, I got out on a medical discharge,
Oh,
which was
okay.
so I went through all that. Then went through
Okay,
medical,
but right. But
went through all that. But then recently, I just did it again because I've had a laminectomy last year. Took out part of my bone in my back, which was part of my disability. So they actually, when I let them know that that went about, they gave me another whatever percent. I don't know.
okay, so you said so are you currently VA rated?
I am DAV rated,
No, wait,
0% VA, but
0% VA.
0% VA. Department of Veteran Affairs rated for 50%.
Wait, wait.
Does that make sense?
No,
Originally,
no, it doesn't make sense because VA is Department of
then I'm
Veteran Affairs.
50%. Originally, there
Right.
was two distinctions when I got out. They said I was 0% for whatever reason, and then they gave me 30, and then now I'm at 50.
Okay, so you're at 50, but you don't have a claim outstanding, right?
No, no open claims.
Okay, so
There,
what?
there is a wait and watch one or something like that for my left knee when I ever decide to get it replaced.
Well, it isn't really, well, okay. At so what you need to do tomorrow is to call up the VA 1-800-827-1000, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And say intent to file.
Okay.
That's all that you have to say. You don't have to tell them why, wherefore, or what. Okay.
All
and
right.
just say intent to file. And what that will do is to start the pay date for the prostate cancer claim.
So I can still claim that even though it wasn't
Well, no,
intentional?
well, that's what we will talk about, believe it or
Okay.
not, is that you were exposed to a lot of nasty, nasty stuff. Probably as a auto or a truck mechanic, specifically, you probably used a solvent to clean grease, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's probably the solvent called trichloroethylene,
Yeah.
a known cause of prostate cancer.
Oh, no.
Also, you were at Fort Knox. Now, I don't know, how long were you at Knox?
That's
Approximately.
that was my final 6 month.
Okay, 6 months is fine. Okay, that is an EPA toxic waste cleanup site for trichloroethylene. And it
Wow.
just so happens it, you weren't signed up for the reminder yet, but I got a guy, Bob, that I have been working with ever since about 2024, stationed there for basic and AIT and a clerk school 4.5 months back in 1970. And he was just awarded 100% temporary, and he got a check for 44,000, a real government green check. They still print those. Why they did not do the deposit into his account, I have no idea, but he got in the mail a government green check for $44,000,
Wow.
and he's in a very similar situation to yours. And so we put together the claim. Took us 2 tries to do it, but the VA agreed. So, in the scheme of things, um, you're currently on ADT, right? Androgen deprivation therapy, right?
Correct.
And when is that supposed to uh, end, or
It was
you?
it was technically already supposed to have ended, but the lasting of I'm still under the effects of it. It was a
Oh,
six
oh,
month
oh.
shot,
Okay, it was a 6 month shot that you got when?
December 24.
December of 24. Okay, so in general, you're going to get probably 3 months bump to 100% because you are still under treatment. Technically speaking, you are still under treatment. And as long as you are under treatment, you collect 100% temporary.
Hmm.
Plus, also, we need to stick in a claim for loss of use of creative organ. In other words, we don't have ED, we have EM. I call it erectile malfunction. Okay, that's worth $136.06 a month.
Wow.
So that should be, so the thing that will happen, I will contact you offline uh, to explain to you what you need to get to support the claim. And then I will do a drafting up of the narrative. Just
Okay.
so happens Henry Holloway and I have been doing exactly the same thing because he has it too. And he was at Fort Knox
Yeah.
for a time. Also over in Germany too.
We're at
Uh,
Germany.
Cleaning guns.
Kurt Goins, The Rock.
Okay, I have slight Kaiserslautern,
Yeah,
K-Town.
been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that will be how it will work. Now, the thing that will happen is that come about December or January, when your treatment ends, you will be called in for a compensation and pension exam, right? I think you've already had some, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what they're going to do is to ask you questions about how many times a night do you get up to go to the bathroom, and also how many pads do you go through, and depending upon your answers, you would be downgraded from 100% down to either 10, 20, 40, or 60, depending. And the thing that we'll do is that I will prepare you for that interview and explain to you what the answers mean. Not that you should lie, but they just ask you, how many pads do you go through in a day? Well, is a day like daylight? Is a day like 24 hours a day, or what? So actually, and then also you will know, and where the ratings or the possible things, not that you should lie, but you should be prepared for that. And the question is, over what period of time? They don't tell you. Like, is it over a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? Is it the average? Is it the maximum? Personally speaking, I think a person ought to get paid for the worst case in a month, because at the time the worst case comes, it can be 2 or 3 days or 4 days, and we should get paid for that worst case. So all that will be handled. Now, seeing that you've got existing ones, uh, what we could do after all this is in and the wheels are turning, we could go back and review what you've got now to see if any of those could be um, increased, or if there's any other ones that you have that you might want to claim. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And we can tackle that. Okay. Do you have questions so
Not
far?
at this. Not at this time. Lots of good information there. I had no idea.
Okay. Now, are you right now signed up for VA healthcare?
I am. I've just never done it. Recently in Indiana, they had us go over to Danville, Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and that was 2 hour drive. And
Right.
then it was, and before this, I was 30%. Now that I'm
Right.
50, it's a little bit different story. So my priorities went up or changed a little bit.
Right.
Um, so now they have a clinic here in town. I just need to get established with it.
Okay. So all that you need to do is go over there and to get a primary care doctor assigned to you. Okay. And once you do that, then what will probably happen is that probably anything that they can't handle, there is a program called community care, and they can then outsource you locally, because if you say the nearest um, facility is what, about 2 hours away?
2 hours.
Okay, so And also, I don't know if, I just saw this within the VA thing is that they have made the referral process easier for community care, because before it was hoops and hurdles to get it approved, to get you outsourced to a doctor, but now they're um, making it very easy to do, and also extending the amount of time your voucher is good for. Like mine today, I've got one that's good for 8 months. Okay, but now they are going to be able to be extended to 1 year. So, and it's a voucher that will pay for everything.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that is very interesting to do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's in the, so also now at the time you go into the VA, I take it you have been able to sign on to www.va.gov, right?
Yeah. I've got an account.
Right, an account there. But now on that thing up in the right-hand corner, there's a thing called My Healthy Vet.
I'm signed up
Okay.
for that too.
Well, yes, you are, but since you don't have a primary care doc, you probably don't have access to what the VA euphemistically calls the blue button. Now, I don't know if that was named after the Air Force or the Navy or the Coast Guard, but it is the secure email system. And so at the time that you go into the primary care doctor, obviously you will get the ability to email that person. Okay. Now,
Okay.
what they may ask you or they may not is, I know they asked me, what other clinics would you like to have email access to? And I gave them a list: oncology, urology, dermatology, you know, podiatry, et cetera, et cetera. And that will give you the ability to secure email them if in the future you ever have to. Now, in your case, you're probably only going to need the primary care doctor, because since you're so far away, probably anything that happens, including and with the prostate cancer, um, would be handled through community care. And as I said, it pays for everything.
Wow.
Yes. Now, also, I take it you've got some private health insurance, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What you do is your private, I don't know if you happen to use them or not, but but it's a good thing to call them up and say, look, I've got VA healthcare insurance, which will pay second, which is interesting because if you go to that private plan and there's some outstanding amount that you have to pay, they will bill the VA.
Wow.
And yes, and the wonderful part about that is no matter what they bill or what the VA is billed, they will only pay what is allowed, and it must be accepted as final payment. I
Wow.
know over at Hopkins, I did 5 blood tests. The VA got a bill for $338 per test. I looked at the statement and they paid them for each test $10.59. That was it. And hey, that's what you get. So that's something available to you now. And so I would take advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure. I did not
Well,
know that.
yep, that is something, because now, because you are 50%, Now, your health care is all covered. Okay.
Hmm.
You attain that. Now, probably out of this claim, you are also going to be awarded what is called TERA, toxic exposure risk activity. That's because of the toxic exposure. And that awards you 100% free VA healthcare.
Wow.
But since you are at 50 or 60 or 70 or 80, 90 or 100, you don't really need that TERA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Great. Great info.
Okay. Now at some
There's
point,
there's also
right.
travel. There's
Oh,
also
oh,
travel.
oh, absolutely. Now,
That's right.
you know, that,
Community care or VA.
When you say travel, what do you mean?
okay, Mark, go for it because you've, I think, used this a bit.
Okay, if your community care, well, if your doctor at the VA schedules you to go to community care and you get community care approval and you go see that doctor, the they will pay you travel from your home to that doctor and back. But you got to fill out the paperwork or you're not going to get travel. And
Right.
and and sometimes you can do it right at your local VA or just you're able to file that in and send it in, and it goes straight to your account at your bank. Now, it can go from one VA to another VA if it's so many miles. And like I go from Martinsburg over to Fort Detrick for treatment, and I get a whole $52. But it's $52, and that pays for the gas. But
Yeah.
I fill out the paperwork and turn it in. And then there's guys and gals who travel from Washington D.C. all the way up to Martinsburg for treatment, and they get all that travel. They get all that
Wow.
paid. Yep. So always look into travel and see if you're eligible for, even if it's the bare minimum. But look
Right.
into getting your travel paid.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've got 2 appointments at the VA in October, and the thing I did a month or so ago, or 2 months, I got into what is called BTSSS, which is the travel system. So I decided to go into it, and it was like jumping into quicksand. And in the meantime, there was a report came out that said that they have simplified it. So once, and even though I'm only like 12 or 13 miles round trip, okay, I plan to file claims for the fact I then have to drive over there, I got to drive back, and you don't even have to put down and with the mileage because they've got some tool they use that they put in your address, that address, and there's some kind of tool that will tell them how much you're going to get. And last time I looked, it was 41.5 cents a mile. Now, also the fact, like for you, if you had to go over and drive over to the hospital and possibly stay overnight at a motel, that could be covered too.
Oh, wow.
So and also meals along the way, and the meals going back. So as I said, I just saw things about keeping receipts, and then I don't know how difficult it would be to file it electronically, but I plan to jump into it at the time I have my 2 appointments just to see if I can get everything set up. Now, the way it looks like, even though the VA's got my bank account to transfer the payment, apparently this system you have to re-enter all of that financial information, because apparently it's handled outside of the www.va.gov. And I can understand that working in the government, because it isn't one big IT group. It's probably a contractor in a separate location or a separate unit, and one group wants to be autonomous from the other group. So in case the BTTS screws up, it doesn't bring down the whole www.va.gov. So anyway, as I said, I plan to delve into that thing and see how it works and try to educate folks. But yes, you can get travel and expenses.
Well,
So, any questions, general questions out of anybody so far? Any comments?
Jim,
Go ahead. Go ahead,
I
Henry.
yield. All right, Duffy.
What?
I yield.
Oh, okay.
You, yeah,
It's an Army Navy thing, you know. It all shows up in November. You know what I mean? Or December. Eric, also, I don't know where you get your medicine from, but once you get involved in the VA because of your 50%, you'll be able to get more medicine from them, and it comes in the mail. And it's just going to take a time for you to feel this all out. But whatever medicine you're taking will be covered, and they'll be sending it to you. So, but
yeah,
you gotta dig into it, buddy, and you gotta look at it. But
yeah, I didn't know
you're
that.
entitled. Oh, buddy, you're entitled to quite a lot at 50%. So
yeah. At the
smile,
50%.
smile and do
And
your homework.
with the fact that you were medically discharged, you probably got a lot of stuff within your medical records which might be able to be exploited. And just, our goal is to get you up to as much as you are entitled to, and just file this away. If you could get up to 85%, which is rounded to 90, your wife is entitled to Champ VA
Wow.
health insurance,
Wow.
and it's reasonable, very reasonable in a year. I think it's something like $800 a year, $600 a year. I forget
Oh my
exactly
gosh.
the amount. Of course, that isn't to be seen within the VA hospitals itself. That's would be through private providers, just like you would
Community.
do today.
Wow.
And also, if you had, or if she had a health insurance provided by, your health insurance, Champ VA would pay second, just like yours does. So anyway, you're 6.5 years in the Army, even though you came out a wounded vet, is possibly going to give you some entitlements for the rest of your life.
Wow. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Appreciate
You
all that info. That's great.
you earned it. Okay, I see that Luther came in. Luther, do you have anything just out of curiosity to bring up?
No, Jim, I'm here to listen and learn.
Oh, another one. Holy smokes. Okay, Frank.
Yes, apologize for being late,
No problem.
Richard, but I'm in to listen.
Oh, you just in. Oh, well, holy smokes. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Tony Fig. Tony Fig asked me a question. Ask it again, because I'm an old guy, so I have an excuse.
I am confused as to
Okay.
whether or when you would qualify for VA health. I've
Ah,
filed a claim for disability, but I have not gotten any approval. We're still going through the process. And then a second part of the question is, uh, how, if you get temporary disability, when do you transfer to total?
oh, okay. So the first one is, okay, in general, if you're a veteran and you've got no disabilities and you say, I want VA healthcare, okay, and you just go over to the facility and say, here I am, sign me up. What you do is to fill out a form, VA form 10-10EZ. And now on that form, they will ask you questions. And if you just had a mundane career, 4 years in, you're out, you were in Hawaii and everything was good, they would require you to enter financial information. And if you are make too much over a threshold, they'll say, I'm sorry, not today. If you're under that, like you are homeless, etc., then they would give you VA healthcare. Okay, now let's say that vet in Hawaii said, wait a minute, I've been reading about all these fuel thing at Point Rose, I think it is. I think I just saw something about a cleanup at Point Rose, and you claim that you were exposed to toxic materials and you put in the supporting documentation and all that stuff. And this is on the healthcare side. You could be awarded a thing called TERA, Toxic Exposure Risk Activity. And that alone entitles you to 100% free VA healthcare. Okay?
Doesn't that circumvent having to put in the financial information also?
Yes. But well, actually, yes. On the TERA, because you are claiming toxic exposure, then, and if you're awarded that, then no considerations on finance. Okay. Let's also take the case where just any vet who is uh, 10%, 20%, 30%, or 40% rated. They get VA healthcare, but the only free VA healthcare they get for is what they are rated for. And anything else they do for you, they can bill somebody. That's how come you have to fill out all of your existing private health insurance and all of that stuff so they know who to send the bill to. Of course, your private health insurance may object to the fact that you went to the VA and now the VA is billing them versus you should have gone to them in the first place. Now, let's take the case where you're 10%, but you apply for TERA, or you are said that you were exposed to toxic. Well, in that case, anybody who's 10, 20, 30, or 40% that is awarded TERA gets 100% free VA healthcare, even though you're not up to 50%. Okay? So, in the scheme of things, what has happened, because TERA was put in March the 5th of 2024, any claims adjudicated after that time, even though it's done on the benefit side of the VA, remember, the VA is like two separate armies, Air Forces, Navy, etc. There is benefit side, and there is the other side is the healthcare side. So you put the claim into the benefit side, but as a part of that claims review process, the healthcare people get to review it for TERA. And what can happen, or what you should look at when a claim is decided in the evidence part, which is generally on page 2, you might see something about a TERA memorandum has been created. And then down in the verbiage, it'll say that that because you were exposed to toxic materials, you have been awarded TERA. That's healthcare. So that's generally the long. Now, for a person prior to March the 5th of 2024, is that if you haven't been awarded the health care, but you're entitled, like anybody covered under the PACT Act. In other words, Agent Orange for us that went west into Southeast Asia, and then what is called the burn pits, but it's more than just burn pits. It's going east to Southwest Asia in the deserts. Those people are automatically entitled to TERA, but it might not have been awarded yet. So there is a VA healthcare form that if you're, let's say, 20%, and you have the healthcare restrictions of 20%, then what you do is say, look, I was over in Qatar or Uzbekistan. So all that you do is to take a healthcare form, which is 10-10 EZR, which says, I want to update my healthcare status from not having free healthcare. Now I want free healthcare because I was covered under burn pits. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, I was exposed to Agent Orange in Guam.
Yes. Now that's true, and what that will also play into that if they, I believe they are going to accept that, because I think I saw some of the paperwork that you were supplying to them about your stopovers there.
Right.
Yes. So at the time all of the smoke clears, you should have a TERA memorandum created for you, and that will give you all of the health care.
Even though the benefits side has not made any determination yet,
Oh,
they're still
well,
in the process.
well, it will come as a part of the benefit determinant. Now, the thing that you could do is, if you wanted to, is to go get the form 1010 EZR and complete that, and then supply the evidence that would persuade them. Okay, that would prove. Because, but as I said, I would probably just let your existing claim play out unless there's a real need to get VA healthcare right now.
I'm concerned there may be another recurrence, so I would probably be just prescribed more ADT drugs, and I've got private insurance, then that would cover up to $2,000. But
Right.
I thought it would be better to get the VA healthcare approved now so that if that situation arose, then I would have the free coverage for the prescription drugs.
Oh yeah, that's true. So it just, I don't know how much longer they are going to take. In your process, are they in what, step 5 of
3 of 5.
3 of 5? So they're still gathering information. Okay, so you can check on that, and they might be able to tell you what they are trying to get, or 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 is there something outstanding from you that they have to have?
I did communicate with them recently,
Oh,
so they
okay.
do have
So
everything they need
they
so far.
got it. Now it's a question of going from the group that is talking to you to getting to the person who is the actual claims adjudicator. And that could be a, a person anywhere in the country, including Puerto Rico. So I don't know if anybody's seen this, but I just saw some information about last year the VA was behind 1 million claims, and now they're down to 200,000. And also they just went back and reinstituted that there's a mandatory overtime. They have to put in, I think it is 9 or 10 hours a pay period. A pay period is 2 weeks. So they can, well, they are requiring the adjudicators who are union, okay, the AF, American Federation of Government Employees, they are requiring them to work, I think it's either 9 or 10 hours a pay period every 2 weeks overtime. And they get paid. So
Would I still need to go to in person to the VA to initiate the VA healthcare claim?
well, no, wait, the VA healthcare claim or to
Or
get enrolled?
enrolled?
You would have to go to some, either a VA clinic or hospital, to go in there and to get the information, or to get your picture taken, etc. And the way I understand now, they used to be able to issue ID cards right on the spot. Lean forward, could you smile, please? And they would take the picture, and the machine was there, and out it would come and hand. No, these, I am told now, are being produced in one central location in Texas. I don't know where in Texas. It's, I'm going to guess Austin, because there is a major VA computing center there, and there's a lot of VA folks there, Austin, but it takes about a week, so it isn't a big deal.
How do I figure out which place to go to? Because there's quite a lot of VA
You can pick one.
places around here.
It doesn't make any difference. You just stroll in there and say, look. Now, the thing that I would do is figure out where you would like to, or where would your primary care physician be, and just go there. Because then at the time that you enroll, they will ask you, would you like a primary care doctor assigned to you? And naturally, you'll say yes. It seems as if it's a dumb question, but not as dumb as it seems, because a lot of people get the ID card with the intention of not using the VA healthcare and to have access into military installations, okay, the commissary and the BX and et cetera, et cetera. So just have patience. The system eventually works.
How do you go then from temporary disability to permanent?
Well, it depends on what you've got. Now, on the prostate cancer, if it goes to stage 4, then it's incurable, which means you will be under the care of a doctor forever. You are under treatment forever. And let us hope it doesn't. Right? Now, other than that, I don't know on the rating. It all depends on what you have and how bad you are.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see here. Richard, I'm sorry. You said
Yes, sir.
you had a question, or
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I've as you well know, I've been away for a while,
yeah,
and now back. And I saw you the was it last week in the advanced group?
right.
They Rick told me to join that group, and so that's where this next issue popped up. A little background. I'm on 100% disability temporary. The VA took away my benefits about 6 months ago, and of course went through a long battle, and they finally restored it. Well, no, they restored it 6 months ago, so I'm back onto getting that 100%
Okay,
temporary.
well, for the sake of the people out there, it wasn't really the VA's fault. It was a transition from one doctor to another doctor. And so the thing that happened was you had left one doctor. And so when they called up that doctor, they said, Richard who? So they
you, you,
assumed
you
you
have
were
a good
no
memory. I'm
longer under
impressed.
treatment. And
I'm impressed.
so, right. So they figured, okay, now yeah. So all that confusion got straightened out. Thank heavens.
Well, no,
Okay.
yes,
No,
yes.
it hasn't yet.
Thanks to the encouragement of this group to keep at it.
Right.
Well, of course,
Okay. So,
that was the first time. Now there was a second time they dropped it because after radiation treatment they assumed, oh, okay, you're back to zero, adios amigo. Then I had to get the report from the doctor to say no, he's going to be monitored for at least a year after radiation treatment. So they finally restored that. So that's where I am
right,
now.
because by the rules, once you are radiated, they give you 3 months to heal. Okay. And then they want to downgrade you because they figure, oh, everything is good. There isn't any other things. And so, yes, indeed, that's the point that you have to supply them information that says, no, 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 no. I am still under treatment for at least 1 year from the end of the radiation, which would
Correct.
be an additional 9 months on top of what they would allow you. Yes, that will happen.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then so now on a unrelated medical issue
Okay.
that occurred, I went to my primary care physician for an issue related to some blood, and he told me to go to get an extensive blood test, which I did. The report came back. It's about 11 pages long with all the different criteria. Well, what was interesting, there's 5 measures that indicate that there's a potential likelihood of kidney disease. And so in that
Okay.
session that I attended with the advanced cancer group, it was
Right.
recommended that I file with the VA. So my question this evening is,
Okay.
okay, so I have this new report, not necessarily tied to the
Right.
prostate treatment and post
Yes.
radiation treatment, but it's a report that I now have to see a kidney specialist. So if I have to put that into records with the VA,
Okay.
how do I file that? What
Okay.
paperwork do I use, and then under
Okay.
what title is it? I mean, is it just for your information? These are some findings. I'm due to see a kidney specialist. More to follow.
No.
Thing.
Well, at this point in time, you haven't been diagnosed with
Yeah.
chronic kidney disease. It's just, hey, it sort of, because I'm in the same boat. I've got a mass on the left kidney or the right one. I forget what it is. And it's just a tiny one. It started out at 6 millimeters. Now it's up to 13. Now, they claim that there is only a 20% chance that it is. So what we're doing is they aren't going to do anything until it gets to 20. So it looks like it'll be a year that, I'm going, geez, do I have it or do I don't? In the VA world, that's worth nothing because it's called, there is no doctor who is going to give me something that says you've got kidney disease or you've got kidney cancer. Okay. Now, I don't know if yours would be considered chronic kidney disease, kidney cancer, or what, but until you get a diagnosis, a firm diagnosis, then you just wait. But as soon as you get that diagnosis, do an intent to file. Just do an intent to file, and then we will look at what they say you've got. And now the first hurdle to get over is, what is the service connection? How do we blame the Army? Okay, now I don't remember if in Agent Orange chronic kidney disease is presumptive. Let's see. I'm not quite sure. I would have to look it up. If it is, no problem. If it's not, then we have to figure out what to blame it on. Probably some toxic materials. Okay. I think firefighting foam is a big one for kidney disease, and there are other toxic chemicals that can be blamed.
Okay.
Okay.
You were in that meeting. It was a week and a half ago when I brought
Okay.
that up, and
Yeah.
someone who I don't quite remember suggested that I go ahead and file anyway. So I'm hearing from
Well,
you, I should hang on to it until I hear the results of my conversation with the kidney specialist.
well, if you file, you have to include a letter out of the doctor that says, not, I think he may have this. It has to say, he has been diagnosed with. So do you have that from the doctor? Or is it still in the suspicion mode?
Well, the interesting thing,
Okay.
But believe it or not, here in this area, trying to get an appointment as a new patient to see a kidney specialist, oh my God. Case in point, here's an example. Through the Hopkins system, their first appointment is July 2026.
Well, now,
I went out of that and did get one sooner outside of the Hopkins system, and it's going to be for January, this coming January 14th.
well,
See,
now,
specialist.
how did you try to get that appointment? In other words, just call them up the phone and say, I am a TRICARE
Oh no,
person, and no.
no, my radiation oncologist gave me the number at the kidney clinic
Ah,
at Johns Hopkins, and even
well,
new patients there it takes that long.
that is the problem. Okay. What? Okay, because I did kind of like the same thing. Okay, I wanted to get a second opinion, so I decided that, hell, okay, I've got the private insurance who will not refer me out. Okay, it's a closed system, Kaiser. Okay, and so to get one just calling without somebody referring me over there, it would have taken me like 4 months. Okay, so I went to the VA. This is why I say you should be signed up for VA healthcare.
Mm.
Okay, and so I got a referral out of my primary care into oncology. Okay, and so I saw the oncologist, and in fact, Henry and I share the same guy, Dr. Krasnow. Interesting individual.
To say the least.
What?
To say the least.
Yes, to say that. Anyway, so I went to him, presented my case at first in a brief, okay, I want to go to Hopkins. He said, look, Jim, I can handle this. Well, he's not a genitourinary medical type. So with what I told him, or what he thought I was, probably cool. So I then gave him a more complete picture of me, which is way over his head. And he gave me the community care to Hopkins. And so at the time I called them with a referral, community care and the VA hospital here has a agreement with Hopkins at Sibley that they will accept him. It took me 10 days to get in there. Okay. 10 days. That was it. I was in. So, do you have a primary care doc in the VA?
No, I don't have a primary care doctor, but my primary care did give me a reference to someone that's only 6 miles away, and so that's the earliest I could get an appointment with it,
But
with the referral from my primary care, the January 14th.
okay, well, as I said, the VA has a pipeline in there, and what I tried, even if you don't need the VA healthcare, you got to have it in your back pocket. So at some point in time, I would hope that you would get assigned a primary care doc. Now, that process, I know at the time I did, let's see, I did my ID card in September, and I didn't get my primary care meet and greet until first part of November. But then I was in, okay, and once you're in at that point, you then get access to the blue button of My Healthy Vet, so I could email my primary care doctor and say I need a referral to oncology, and that was done instantly. And oncology called and said, okay, appointment. And I got in to see them in a couple weeks. And then eventually over to Hopkins I go. So I don't know.
Well, that's really interesting. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it was my radiation oncologist who made the first suggestion that I go to the
Well,
kidney clinic,
you
and he was
say
a
that,
Hopkins guy.
right. You say suggestion. So did those doctors call Hopkins to get you in, or did they just say, that you should call them and there's a referral from me? Or
It
how does
was
it
it was
work?
the former, not the latter. And the reason I think there is not a rush, because when I then went back to my primary care and
Okay.
said, well, my goodness, what, you got anything sooner? And he made the referral to the one right here in Wheaton, Maryland. So then the question was to my primary care, I said, is these measures that's on this blood test, is this something that that indicates urgency? He said, no, you're fine. Just don't worry. You'll be okay. So it's not there's no red lights going off. So it's,
Yeah. So as I said, um, I don't know. All this stuff is available to you. So
sure.
I would, as my
Jerry,
suggestion, yes, Henry
hey,
Holloway.
yes, thank you. Primary care works extremely well for me. Maybe because I've been in the system, but I've actually had more help than I can imagine.
Okay.
I get a little, I don't want to say paranoid, and once you're assigned a primary care, you're assigned a team. I'm on the yellow team. So the
Oh,
teams at the Washington DC VA are color coded: yellow,
yes.
blue, red, gold. And you're not only on a team of other veterans, but you have access to other physicians and social work, mental health, and it's perhaps information that many veterans, even career veterans, may not be aware of. But
Yeah.
no matter how much coverage you have, if you have VA coverage, then I mean that's sometimes it could be sticky, but from my experience, uh, 30 years, it's been great. They've helped me navigate through things that I would have put in information that would have perhaps, not given me the advantage that I have now, that I receive. So that would be my. I'm also in integrative health and wellness and connected with other veterans. That it's really a broad base, and I get all kinds of information about benefits and health care, and it's been amazing for me. So I
So
just thought I would
the way
encourage
that I'm
you.
Right.
thank you, Henry. The way that I'm hearing your story and the way that I'm hearing your reference, Jim, when you use the term primary care for your contacts, you're talking about the primary care within the VA health system.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
My
Absolutely.
primary
Yeah.
care, when I was referencing it in my earlier comment, was
Oh,
outside. It's a private physician non-VA. So
Yes.
I could go back to our local, it just had a small clinic in Gaithersburg, and I guess get assigned a VA primary care to get the things that you both are talking about.
Yes, you could, and I would strongly suggest you set that up now before you need it, and then if you need
Probably should.
something, you have another option. Mark, you have your hand up.
I think as veterans, the first thing we need to do for other veterans is before we start talking to them or discussing things to them, we need to ask them, have you got a VA card? Have you
Right,
gone and stood there and smiled and get a VA card? Get registered in the VA. And then, like everybody's saying here, get a primary care doctor. And when you get a primary care team at your local VA or office, and then from there you work other ways out. But like with Richard, he's got to take this information once he get a primary care doctor inside the VA. He's
right,
got to take this information that he has on the street and share it with the primary care doctor in the
right.
Veterans Administration. Now, the primary care doctor is going to look at you in the VA and say, okay, I'll see you in 6 months. And they'll schedule an appointment, in 6 months from now. You got to show back up at the VA and look in front of those people and tell them what's going on. Now, at that time, you can bring stuff from your doctor on the street and share it with the VA. And so you got to get all these people talking back and forth. It sounds difficult, but it's. I see Sylvester there and Henry. After you're in it a while, you can get everybody talking to everybody. But anytime you see a veteran, a new veteran, you got to tell them, go get your card, get checked in a primary care,
Right.
and let everything else work its way out, because you got to have a team together.
So, Richard, I got a question for you. What kind of a doctor are you trying to be referred to offhand?
Well, I guess the terminology is a nephrologist, which is for kidney issues.
Okay, so in the scheme of things, if you went to the VA and say, explain the situation, they would say, indeed, you need this doctor, and if they have one, you would see them. If they did not have one, they would then give you approval for community care. And then it would probably be, and now you would be having the VA being the referral, and that carries weight because they do a lot of business with the VA.
Okay,
So,
that sounds okay. That's a very, very good tip. That's worthwhile. Yeah.
so okay, you do have your card. That's great. That will get you into the commissary and the BX and all that good stuff, but you need that primary care doc assigned to you. And it just so happens at the VA hospital, Henry, I'm on the yellow team too. I'm on your team. Okay.
Quite a coincidence.
Yeah. So,
And do both of you go down to the DC
yeah,
VA hospital?
I
I'm
do.
there I'm there 3 days, not
Well,
apology. I'm there tomorrow for Qigong. I'll take Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation,
Okay.
acupuncture. I've been on sports team. I've been in the Veterans Guard. This is a bracelet with all of the military representation logos, every branch, everything. The travel person gave me that because I admired it.
oh yeah,
But I don't want to go on and on about my experience. Sometimes I feel guilty.
Okay.
Oh no.
I have no bronze stars or purple hearts, but I've had trips all over the country through the auspices of the VA. San Diego, sports teams. It's
So,
just,
so,
it's been a hell of a ride. So
so,
sometimes I decline it.
so neither one of you have taken up Mark's invitation to go up to Martinsburg, huh?
Yeah,
He
but
puts that as the
we would go to,
Shangri-La of VA care.
we would
If I
come to
remember correctly.
Martinsburg to compete. I've competed at Martinsburg VA every year in preparation for the Veterans National Golden Age game.
Oh my God.
And you probably don't know anything about that, but I mean, there would be VA from Baltimore, Martinsburg, and somewhere in Pennsylvania and DC, and we would compete, and those would be the trials, like the pre-trials to the game.
Oh my God.
So I'm complete. I'm done.
Okay, gentlemen. I'll go to the
Okay.
VA clinic here and get the ball rolling.
Hello, Sylvester. I thank you for joining us.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be
Sylvester
here.
is a retired VA employee, and then there's also our own Colonel Boykin.
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late. Got caught up into another volunteer thing. Sorry. Bye.
Okay. Do any of you two have something to bring up? No.
I don't, but I would like to say something. Yeah, I'll say
Okay.
something.
Sure. Go.
You know, it's interesting because I've been on several of these sessions, and I watched the change in administration when I was working for the VA, and I see things that are happening now that I don't work for the VA. You know, what's interesting to me is that most of the veterans on these sessions are primarily service-connected veterans. The VA also treat non-service connected veterans. I'm a non-service connected veteran. I don't have a service connected disability. But if you meet a veteran, you can encourage him to come on this program because he can find out about benefits. The benefits are the same treatment, but the thing that makes the difference is payments. You can be treated for the same condition at the Veterans Administration for non-service as you can for service. The treatment is the same. So if you see anybody that is interested in veterans benefits, please invite them to come on this session because it's not just for service-connected veterans, it's also for non-service connected veterans. And Jim Marshall is fantastic. Couldn't ask for a representative more knowledgeable than Jim Marshall. And with
Well,
that, thanks for listening.
okay. I try now. Within the minders, I did have the case to do my first DIC person, and that went surprisingly much quicker because Robert, okay, and his wife Thelma, I've known them for about 3 or 4 years, and so Robert died, and he was a Navy type Vietnam veteran, and so I helped her with it, and it was very, very easy to do. There was a form to fill out, a separate form. He was already service connected for his heart issues, and I had briefed her about make sure it is on the death certificate, and she did. And so we put together the claim. It was very, very easy to do, and submitted it like August the 27th. And she called me on September the 10th and said she had already received her first check.
Wow.
So it was amazing. Apparently, the way I understand, they do fast path DIC claims for death, dependent or de- dependency individual, wait, compensation. Oh, death indemnity compensation. So in the scheme of things, as I said, he was awarded 100% back in 2018. So because it hadn't been 10 years, she is entitled to $1,632 a month. Now, if he would have gotten to 10 years, then it would have been something like $3,260 a month. So the long and the short is, make sure if you've got something that may kill you, like me, I've got 3 things, that you have briefed your wife or spouse or what, that make sure it's on the death certificate. And it took her, actually, he died in about June, and by the time all of the stuff was, it was a traumatic experience for her. As I said, we filed August the 27th, and it was no problem at all. Then there was the other case. As I said, I've been honored, very, very honored, to be adopted by a Special Forces Ranger chapter around here. And they are some crazy individuals. And the stories they tell, I go, I am glad I joined the Air Force. But anyway, so in there, as I pointed out in the reminder note, there was a SF guy that's 70%, and he has a rating for a knee which is 0, because the knee was okay, but he still has a service connection has been established for the knee at 0. Well, he just told me there that he had just gone through a knee replacement of that knee. And I said, well, have you filed for it? He said, filed for what? And I said, well, just remember the rules. Anytime you have surgery, you get 6 months to heal. So at the time that before the surgery, the knee was 0. So he gets surgery on the knee, and he gets then elevated to 100% for 6 months. And then at the end of 6 months, obviously, they bring you in for a C&P exam to look at residual effects. Well, if the surgery was successful, he will be dropped back down to 0. But during that time, in that, not quite for him, it'll only be like 5 months instead of the 6 months, the knee gets jumped to 100%. He's already 70%, and that qualifies him for special monthly compensation, which is, for him, it's about an extra $300 a month. So the long and the short is that even though you've got a disability that's rated at 0 or 10, it can pay off in the future because service connection has been established. Once it gets established, That's the big hurdle to get over. So anyway, that was another success story. And then Mark has been helping me with Fred, who has Parkinson's. And I met him in a Vietnam Veterans Association, and he was a Navy guy that never even thought about it, or at first it took him about a half an hour to even admit that he had it. But once he did, and the wife started hearing about the fact he could get money for it, his attitude changed. Well, through Mark's help, well, researching Parkinson's says that it starts out at 30%, and that's true. But through Mark's help, and I thank you very much, Mark, for this, he explained how the rating process works. And so I relayed all of that information to Fred and his wife, because I said, look, at the time he goes for the C&P exam, make sure that the wife goes in, because she can see a lot of stuff that he doesn't realize. So the long and the short was, because of all of the effects of it and the fact that he stooped over a bit and other things that happened during Parkinson's, he is now rated at 80%. So Mark suggested he should apply for TDIU, total disability individual unemployability. Well, at this point in time, he's so enamored and so stunned that he got the 80%. I have to work on him, because TDIU says that you cannot hold down a full-time job, a 40-hour-a-week job. Obviously, a person with Parkinson's is not going to be able to go in and commute and work a 40-hour week and be productive. So he is he's a shoe-in for 100% permanent and total. And around here, because it can't be cured, or there is no cure. It's a gradual progression. So,
And it's also part of Agent Orange.
yes.
And I think as of the 1st of January this year, I haven't backtracked, but the 1st of January this year, if you get TDI and Social Security, what they end up doing is whatever you get for Social Security, they take it off your benefit side of that paycheck. It all washes out, but the biggest thing is to get him to 100%, so he reaps all the benefits of 100% in the
Okay,
veterans.
could you go back and rehash that about if you are collecting now, is it just straight Social Security or Social Security disability?
Your Social Security is 63 or above. If you're getting your Social Security, not
Just a
disability per
normal
se.
Social
So
Security check.
correct. If you're
Oh,
getting, let's say, if you're getting $822 from
okay,
Social Security, I'll just throw that out there.
okay.
Then what they're going to do is they're going to take that $822 off of the TDI that they're giving you. They'll
So
take that
that
off.
would be
It washes out. So it's not in the old days you used to get your TD along with Social Security. You could have them
okay.
both. As of January 1st this year, they said no. We're going to take that $822 away from what we're giving you for TDI, and now it washes out. Uh, it's not like you can
Well,
have both.
okay. Let me get into just let's go into the weeds. Okay.
Okay.
Right now he is then 80%. which means
Okay.
he gets about 25, what? Oh, excuse me. I got it right here. Well,
Should be higher.
in 2026, he'd get $2,100 a month. Okay. Now,
For his 80%.
right,
Okay.
80%. But if he gets bumped to 100%,
It's like 35, 36.
no, actually 100% is more like, well, let's just say he is single. It's 39.34.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a difference of somewhere around $1,800, let's just say.
Okay. Let's say it's $3,900.
Okay,
If he gets the way he gets to 100% is that boost from TDI.
right,
Okay. Now that he's 63 years old,
right.
as of January 1st, let's say that he gets $822 from Social Security. They'll take that $822 away from his $3,900. So the only thing he's
So,
going to get is the $3,900. It washes out. Where
so they
in my
take
day,
it all,
oh,
not just the incremental increase, because the thing I'm trying to understand, if he's 80%, that is according to Parkinson's, but the
mhm,
but the jump from 80 to 100 is the TDIU.
mhm,
So so even if he was 90% jump to 100,
mhm,
they are going to take all the money or any money up to the maximum amount, the 3,900,
mhm.
away from him in Social Security.
The money that he's going to receive from 90 to get him to 100, whatever that is, the
Okay,
way I understand it.
okay,
Let's say it's $1,200,
right.
and he's getting 822 or eight
Well,
hundred
let's
dollars
say
in Social
he's
Security.
getting $1,800
Okay.
uh, from Social Security. And so do they take all of his Social Security money away just because he's 100% TDIU?
The way I understand it is the TDIU is where they're going to take that whatever it is from his 90 to 100, that
Oh,
money
so
that
it's just the incremental amount that
correct
he would have it
get from two.
offset,
Correct.
or the Social Security would be offset by that incremental increase.
Correct. That's the way I understand it.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense.
Correct.
But I need to
But in
try
the
to
old
find
days, we
that.
got both. We
Right.
got both. Right.
I
So
will,
my Social Security has not been touched, but as of January 1st, the way I read it and understood it is that you're going to lose some of your Social Security because they boosted you from 90 to 100.
yeah,
You understand?
now I know there is a interaction between if you've got a VA disability and you've got a Social Security disability.
And I'm
There
not.
is some interaction between the two, but this is VA, TDIU, and straight Social Security.
That's the way I understood.
Right.
Yeah.
And there might be an interaction between VA, well, if there's VA, TDIU, and Social Security disability, who cares if it's the TDIU?
Right.
Yep. It
But the TDIU gets you a lot of benefits when you
Oh,
jump to that
absolutely.
100%,
Around
because then
here,
because
he's
it becomes
in
permanent
he he is in Fairfax County, and so for now it's
taxes.
interesting. This is just a sidebar, because around here in Virginia, if you are 100% permanent and total, then most of the counties around here and also in Maryland, you do not have to pay the property taxes on your house. But for you folks who are in Fairfax County, did you know if you are a family of four and you don't make $90,000, you don't have to pay the property taxes on your house either,
Mhm.
because they happen to subsidize the low end. So the people in the middle are paying. That's how come the taxes in the Fairfax County are so high. And he lives there. So yes,
Where in West Virginia, I get a homestead tax,
right.
homesteader's tax. So that
Exemption,
part, I
right?
think it's 40. I think it's 40% gets taken off.
Right.
But another thing is I get free driver's tags. So like I just went in and got my driver's tags for my one vehicle, which is my disabled veterans vehicle, and I got a sticker to 1930 or 2028, 20 for 10 years, 38 or yeah, yeah, it's a crazy little sticker. So it's like for
Okay.
the next 10 years, I don't have to buy plates for this car,
Right.
and it all it cost me was I don't know, pothole fee or something like that they have in there. It cost me like $20 or something for 10
Okay.
years. But yeah, I mean, there's all these little benefits that you can do once you get to that 100%, and they're every year these things change back and forth. Every administration they change back and forth. So honestly, like Richard, you got to stay on top of this stuff because it's changing constantly.
Yep.
At least Sylvester and I have no hair, and we can kind of figure all this out. Unlike the colonel down there, he shaves his head because I can see all the gray stuff on top of his. But you know,
One,
it's
one
it's
thing I
just
would like, one
go
thing I
ahead.
would like to say is this. Since you mentioned Social Security
Yeah.
and VA payments, usually you pay income tax on Social Security. You do not pay income tax on VA payments.
Yes.
So when you was talking about the TDIU, if a person had to select which one, Social Security as opposed to the VA, they would be tax-wise, they would be better off selecting the VA.
Good point. I thank you very much for that thing. That sort of slipped by the whole discussion. Thank you very much, Sylvester.
And that's why I try to tell people on this page. Some of them have dropped off, but you have to go in and get your card and get yourself registered and to your primary care doctor. Even if you only have to see him twice a year, go do what you want to do, but you gotta do that because all this other stuff will start falling into place. And then you can be a happy camper just like Mr. Harry there, and you can get anything you want and come on up to Martinsburg and get ready for a competition.
Yeah, around here it is a primary care doctor visit once a year, and what they do now even is that I don't even have to recall to schedule it. I get a a notice that says you have an appointment on this date, this time. Now, if I have to change it, fine, but they have me essentially in the system and I am in the fold. I am in the groove. So that's good. Okay. It looks like it's getting about the witching hour here. And so anybody else have any questions, comments, or anything?
You also get 10% discount with your cards at most
Oh,
places.
those things. Now, the last thing I want to bring up, anybody who is um, viewing this is that if you would like to contact me, you can email me at veterans@ancan.org, ANCAN.org, and send me a question or something, or if you're curious how to sign up for this, feel free and to contact me. And before we leave, Rick Davis, who's the founder of AnCan, has just signed on to check in as to how we are doing. And as long as he's here, I want to make a thank you to Rick, because apparently the ACCC, which is a group that handles, that lobbies or studies veterans health care, contacted Rick and has invited 2 veterans to attend a conference in October down in Georgia at Atlanta. And I was surprised that they are going to pay airfare and hotel and provide 2 meals a day, which is amazing. And I'm sort of suspicion with all of the medical folks, they may be having hospitality suites in the evening that will serve food. So
That's right. You know, we knew this. It wasn't so much the airfare and the hotel room, but we knew that if we told Captain Jim that there were 2 free meals a day with this, that we would get him to go. Actually, I should tell you who ACC is,
yes,
because
please
they're a
do.
very significant organization. It stands for the Association of Community Cancer Centers. So it's basically all those cancer centers that most people go to that are not centers of excellence.
Oh, okay.
It's a large organization. They want to do more for vets. They liked what we were doing. They watched and were very impressed with Captain Jim and all of you. And we were talking to them on other things, and they came back to us and wanted to talk to us more about our programming. So that's what it is. My apologies for coming so late. We had a very, very robust Care Partners meeting tonight, as Sylvester will attest, with 2 new people and almost as many, maybe even more people than you have here right now, but you probably, so that's very good for us in the Care Partners group. And I'm a co-moderator in that group, and our lead moderator has issues with her vision, so I can't really leave. And our third moderator, very sadly, she's not been well. Sylvester, you'll get an email from Susan on this, but she had a stroke on Sunday night. She's doing okay, but her speech is a little slurred. She's in the hospital. She has some issues on her right side, so that's that. So sorry I was late, but I see some familiar faces as always, and a shout out to all of you, especially to I just want to say I don't think I could have handled the PCRI conference without Dan Gifford. He was amazing, and
right.
was so helpful. And Dan, we had quite a few vets, didn't we, that stopped by that table?
Oops.
Yeah, we did. Sorry. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. We had actually quite a few. I'm slightly disappointed that I haven't seen more of them show up here, but they walked away with information and we had some good conversations, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So they can't say they weren't informed. We'll just say that.
No. Colonel Gifford was working very hard on your behalf, Jim.
Okay,
to
good.
spread the word, and he
Yep.
did a phenomenal job. And So they'll show up. They will definitely show up in time, and will be here. And just really huge debt of gratitude to Dan. Thank you so much. So that's and the other thing I've got to just do, because I see in here, is Colonel Boykin, you've got to be in touch with Dr. John if you haven't already. Please.
Oh yeah, we talked today.
Okay, then you don't have to be. All right, then we good. Okay, good. All right. So that's it. And
Wait a
how's
minute.
West Virginia? How's West Virginia?
Do you want to see my impersonation of him? This is what he looks like when he comes up.
Who's this? Who's this supposed to be? Who are you talking about?
That's
Me?
you when you come on. When you come on, you're like,
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
all right, love you guys.
We love you too, Mark.
Okay, have a good night.
Okay, folks, it's about time to wrap up, turn off the recording, and I'll see you next month in October. And as I said,